everyone, it's Amber, and today I'm going to be doing my February wrap-up and March TBR, and it's really crazy that it's already March. I can't wait for spring. I'm already feeling the spring vibes because where I live, it just got like really warm for like a week, and warm meaning like 50s to like 70s because it's been in like the 30s and 40s lately. Anyway, today I'm here to do my February wrap-up and March TBR, and I am super excited because I read 6 books in February, and that is insane because I never read that much during the school year. I'll read like probably about 2 to 3 books a month on average, but this month I read 6, and that is crazy because I just don't have a lot of time to read. And let me just say, the books that I read this month were mostly phenomenal, and I'm so excited to share them all with you. And there are a lot of them in here that I can't wait to do reviews on, and when I do, there'll be links. But I'm like so excited about these books, and I can't wait to share these books with you guys because I like can't contain my excitement because I just had such a great experience reading a lot of these, and I can't wait to just talk about them. So let's just get right into my February wrap-up. So the first book that I read in February, I actually read in a day, which is insane because I don't think I've ever done that, and that is Illuminae by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. This was amazing. I can't believe I didn't read it sooner. It was just so good. Like, you just get so into the story and you get so into the characters, you just need to keep going. So I just read it in a day because so much was happening and I just couldn't put it down because I couldn't leave it unresolved. So I finished it in a day, and it was so good, and I love the characters in this book, and most of you guys have probably read it, but I'm very late on the train with this book, but I'm very excited that I've read it now, and I absolutely loved it. I obviously gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. If you didn't know, Illuminae is a sci-fi book, and it's told through pictures and like files, so I think the way that it's told really helps you read it a lot faster. It just added so much to the story and the atmosphere to have it told like that. 5 out of 5 stars for this. I highly recommend this if you haven't read it yet. Then I read The Grapes of Wrath by John Steinbeck, which is downstairs, but I'm too lazy to go get it. And that book, I wasn't a big fan of it. I read it for school. It wasn't my favorite classic that I've ever read. It was enjoyable enough, but I have something against reading books for school just because I enjoy reading so much that I don't like to have my experience tainted because they make you read so much at a time, and then you have to put sticky notes in it and analyze it, and sometimes it really adds a lot to the experience of reading it, like it did for me with Great Gatsby, but sometimes it can really take away from your experience reading, and that's kind of what happened with this book. I think I would have liked it a little bit more if I had read it on my own, but because I didn't read it on my own, and I had to put a sticky note on every single page, so I was basically just reading it to put the sticky notes in it, I think I gave it like a 2 out of 5 stars. The next book that I read was The Witch Hunter by Virginia Boaker, and this book was so good as well. I loved this. I believe I gave this a 4.75 out of 5 stars. It's like an addicting fantasy read, and it's actually historical fantasy, which I didn't know. I really loved this. It's about a girl named Elizabeth, and she is a witch hunter, and then she gets accused of being a witch herself, so this famous, really powerful wizard named Nicholas makes a deal with her that if she helps him get rid of this curse that is on him and has been on him for a long time, then he will help her escape, and it's just such an amazing journey. I love all the characters in this book. I can't wait to read the second one. I think it's a duology. I think there are only 2, but I know that there is a second one. It's out now, but I'm kind of waiting for the paperback because I really like reading paperbacks better. There were pirates, there are ghosts, there are witches, wizards, magic, so much. It's just so great, and I highly recommend it. It's an amazing fantasy book, and it's super easy to get into. So if you are looking for a good, underrated fantasy book that's just tons of fun, then definitely pick this up. And also I'm going to be doing a review on this at some point. That'll be coming pretty soon because I'm excited to talk about this book because it was so good. The next book that I read is kind of a modern classic in most people's eyes, and that is the person being Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky. And I had picked this book up a couple years ago. I believe it was my freshman year of high school, and I originally picked it up because I saw the movie and I really liked the movie, so I wanted to read the book. And then I started reading it and I wasn't really into it, so I put it down. This is a book that I really wanted to read at some point in my life, so I'm glad I got to do this for my psych project. We had to pick a book and then diagnose one of the characters with a mental illness, and my teacher gave us a list, so I ended up picking this one because I'd already started reading it before and I just wanted to finish it. And I enjoyed this, but I didn't really enjoy it as much as I enjoyed the movie. I think I gave it a 3.5 stars out of 5. Next, I read Caraval by Stephanie Garber, and guys, I'm actually still dead from this book because I finished it last night and I was just innocently reading it, and it was like fine up until the point where it had plot twist after plot twist, and then I was just like, I thought I knew what was going on, and then it twisted again, and then I was like, wait, what? And then it twisted again, and then I was like, what? And it just kept happening until the very end, and then the last page it happened again. So I need the next one, and I loved this book. This is definitely my favorite book I read this month. I loved this. Like, it was amazing. If you don't know what this book is about, it basically is about these two sisters who have always wanted to go to this thing called Caraval, and it's basically a game type of circusy thing where nothing is as it seems. It all seems real, but you kind of have to decipher what is real and what is not. So after wishing to go to Caraval for years and years of their childhood, they finally get an invitation to go to Caraval. One of the sisters gets kidnapped, and in order to win the game you have to find her, and it's about the other sister going to find her sister, and it's just amazing. I love the characters in this book. I got really attached to them, and I just can't even express my love for this. It was so mystical and magical, and just I've never read a book that has shook me so much because the plot twists were just all over the place, and I was just like dying at every turn because I just never knew what was going to happen, and the reader doesn't know what's real and what's not either, so that was like messing with me. So I love this book. I love it. There's nothing else to say. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. Go read it. Last book I read in February was City of Ashes by Cassandra Clare, and this is a reread. If you don't know, me and some of my friends are hosting a reread / reading of the Mortal Instruments and Infernal Devices series. It's going to be in publication order, and if you want to know more about that, I will leave the link to my announcement video down below. So those were all of the books that I read in February, and I'm so happy with my reading month in February because I read so many books, and more importantly, I read so many amazing books that I absolutely love. So now on to my March TBR. So the first book that I'm planning on reading in March I actually just got in the mail today, and that is Grave Mercy by Robin Lefevers. I can't wait to read this. If you don't know, it's about these girls that are called Death's Handmaidens, and they're basically assassins, and people are marked with some sort of mark and then they go kill them. I cannot wait to get into this, and I love fantasy and assassins, and it's just gonna be great. The next book that I'm planning on reading in March is Wayfarer by Alexandra Bracken. I read Passenger January of 2016, which was when it came out. I've been waiting for Wayfarer ever since I finished that book because the ending was insane. You guys don't know what this is about, but a girl named Etta, and she basically finds out that her family is a family of time travelers, and it's just about her adventures time traveling, and it's so amazing. I don't want to tell you too much about it. I'm really looking forward to getting into Wayfarer and finishing up this duology. The next book I'm planning on reading this month is City of Glass by Cassandra Clare, and as I said before, me and my friends are hosting a reread / reading of the Mortal Instruments and the Infernal Devices. I'll leave the video down below of the announcement video so you guys can learn more about that, but I'm planning on rereading City of Glass, and this is one of my favorites in the series, so I can't wait to get into this and reread it. The next book on my TBR is probably not a surprise because I loved the first book, and that is Gemma Nom by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff, which is the second book in the Illuminae files, and I just can't wait to get into this because I love this series so much, and I can't wait to see what happens in the second book. And the last book that I'm planning to read in March is A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab, aka Pretoria Schwab. I am super excited to get into this because I've heard so many great things about this series, and I just need to know what's going on with it because it's been so hyped, and the last one, A Conjuring of Light, just came out the other day, so I'm really looking forward to getting into this series. All I know about this series, it's set in a world where there are different Londons and there are different dimensions of London, and there's like white London, red London, black London, and gray London, and the main character can travel between the Londons, and I know that there is a cross-dressing pirate girl in it, and princes, and all this interdimensional travel, and it's just gonna be so good. So that is it for my February wrap-up and March TBR. I would love to hear what you guys are reading in March and what you guys read in February down below. I'm super happy with my reading month, and I hope that I can continue that in March. If you like this video, please feel free to give it a thumbs up, and you can also subscribe down below if you want to see more of my videos. And also, I have Q&A going on right now, and it's still open for questions, so you can leave your question in this video. I'll put it up in the I button, so you can leave your questions below that video, or you can leave them in this video if you want, but if you leave them on that video, they're more likely to get answered. Please feel free to ask me any questions for the Q&A because I'm super excited to film that, and I'm going to be filming it pretty soon. So that's about it for this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!
Inside my heart there's an emptiness, a heavy hate on a hollow chest.